John Collins, otherwise known as Weird of the Weird Review. Welcome to part 3 of our interview with the Gnarly Gentleman, Camden Toy. Camden is known by the many faces of the many characters he's played in film and television. Most notable, of course, is Gnarl, the Ubervamp, and one of the gentlemen from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Part 3 of our interview begins with his actor reel, with his permission, of course, and is followed by me concluding the interview that Lesley Scott, the Weird Review editor, began in parts 1 and 2. So if you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, when you're finished this one, go back and watch them. In the meantime, if you're a director or producer, hire Camden. He's awesome, and if you like our video, share it, click the like, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much.
I welcome the hero of time.
Our boy couldn't have gotten far on foot.
We'll track him on foot.
Henry, we lose that money, we lose the bank. No bank, no town. You ain't been with us long. Haven't proved yourself yet. Certainly not in my eyes. You want to call Cutter your home? You best come back with that money.
Gnarl makes a pretty picture. It's easy when you know how. It's easy when everyone helps. Too bad there's no one to help you.
I'm gonna kill all y'all blue-skinned cat monkeys! I'm gunning for you, Thelma Louise! You hear me? Gunning! With space guns!
Brownie for the ex-porn director.
X? Oh, sorry. Yes, X. XXX. I'm triple X. These look so good.
Yeah, take one or two, or, okay.
The Prince of Lies is not a slab of meat to be set upon by insignificant maggots.
Put a sock in it.
Nein, bitte, ich flehe dich an.
I'll suck the brain from your skull and digest your thoughts like a sour puss. Today, I help an attractive young couple who feel burdened by their 2 young children, while their same-age single friends go off on exciting adventures. Now, maybe they should have talked to Dr. Dave before taking the marriage plunge.
Watch out!
Very nice. Oh, no. No.
All of these guys were great to work with. The tall one there is Doug Jones, the shorter one, Camden Toy. And they both were so frightening in the room, just in broad daylight, pretending to do this without any makeup on, that I knew they would be great. And they add a huge amount to their performance. There again, they're on wires. And then after that, back on the dolly, I believe there's one more shot of them where we suspended them with wires. Very difficult. This was, in fact, the last thing we shot, was the scene of them coming down the hall.
Thank you again so much for joining us, Camden. I can't tell you what it was a pleasure the first time we met, and you and Ari Lehman and Mike Holman were singing Figaro.
Yeah, we were singing opera on the streets
of Kalamazoo.
That's funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was funny. It's like I had to turn my camera on. But speaking of weird and wonderful, I like to close our interviews with inviting the guests to tell us something weird and wonderful about yourself or experience, or maybe related to one of your productions.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that I'm also a film editor, although I haven't done any editing in recent years. But I fell into film editing just by accident right out of high school. I was first hired as a production assistant on a consumer education series. that WQED was shooting, and some friends of mine were shooting. And it turned out the director was an old classmate of my father's from acting school.
Really?
Which is so weird, yeah. Jim Sweeney. And it turns out Michael Keaton was one of the stars of the thing. Although his name wasn't Michael Keaton at that time, it was Michael Douglas, because he wasn't
Right.
He wasn't Michael Keaton yet. He was,
Right.
he was actually working on the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood crew, which
Really?
was shot at WQED. Yeah, and he, I guess they knew he was a. So yeah, Michael Douglas, now known as Michael Keaton, was working on the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood crew, and I guess they knew he was also a performer.
Right.
So he got cast as one of the actors in this consumer education series, and I ended up going on to be the assistant editor on the project. Was hired later to be assistant editor for special projects. Had the pleasure of working briefly with Thelma Schoonmaker, who cuts all of Scorsese's films now, because we were shooting some National Geographic projects at that time. It was an interesting time to be working at WQED as the assistant editor on the project. To meet and work with Thelma Schoonmaker, who amazingly unpretentious, just warm, loving, very generous with her knowledge about the industry and about editing, and even then, even before she wasn't really known that. Well, I mean, she had cut Woodstock, so she was already fairly well known, but she hadn't cut all of these amazing Scorsese films yet. So even then, though, she was still a bit of a legend. So it was like, as a kid, I was like, I don't know, 19. I was just like, wow. Well, when you were cutting that film with Joe Cocker and Woodstock, what'd you do? And she said, well, we did. She had all this like amazing information. I mean, because she created, I don't know if you've seen Woodstock, but she created she was the one that came up with those like multiple, double and triple screen, shots where they would like show this would be in real time, and then this would be in halftime, and this would be like maybe somebody in the audience. And she was one of the first people to create all of it.
Really?
Yeah. And she came up with that because they were cutting that on an 8-plate cam, which was it's a modular system where you can have 3 picture heads and like 1 soundtrack. So you can literally, this is when we're cutting soundtracks. I mean, the film, we're still cutting work print. So you got 1 soundtrack, you have like 3 picture heads going. So she could like slow one down, speed one up. That's kind of where she came up with all those ideas.
Yeah, I know how you do it in like Premiere.
Oh yeah, I mean digital, it's so easy now.
But
yeah,
then
we actually had film. We were actually putting it in a little viewer, and everything was synced together. It was pretty amazing.
I never thought about how would you do. I don't.
Yeah.
When you're describing it,
look up. I'm sure you could probably Google 8-plate chem. It's KEM, 8-plate chem editing system, and you could see how we used to cut film.
Wow.
And before that, we would cut on what they call a moviola, an upright moviola, which looked a little like a sewing machine.
Right. No, yeah, I've seen pictures.
Oh my God.
I've never touched one.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's how we used to. That's when we used to cut film, folks.
Scary.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But I was very lucky to have been exposed to people like that at a very early age. It was pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, do you have a website? Do you have?
Unfortunately,
Facebook?
I do. CamdenToy.com. Unfortunately, it's down at the moment. But you can reach me on my Facebook page. It's Camden Toy. There's only one Camden Toy on Facebook. Easy to find. I have a regular page, and then I have a fan active page. You can like one, and then also follow the other. So you can check them both out. I'm also on Twitter. It's Camden_Toy.
Okay.
On Twitter. And you can contact me at either one of those. Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. So, with Camden Toy from the Video Symphony Studio School, this has been the Weird Review.
Weird.
Thank you guys.
Okay, we got it right.
You guys are wonderful.